You're listening to episode number 26 of the Wellness Real Estate Podcast. Have you ever had a listing that was on the market and everyone had positive things to say about it, but it just wasn't the one, so no offers were coming in like you anticipated? If it wasn't the price, then it could have been that there was some negative energy keeping that home from appealing to the right buyers. I have Holistic Realtor Heather Schmidt here today. She's been an agent for over a decade and has been using energy clearings as a way to help buyers, sellers, and even other agents in her area with homes that aren't selling. So before you start slashing the price on your listings, learn how Heather gets these homes sold. And if you're curious to learn what Heather's interpretation of Holistic Realtor means to her and her business, stay tuned. You will love today's episode. Let's grow. Welcome to the Real Estate Marketing Podcast, where we explore a unique strategy no one is talking about that will enable you to engage more people with authentic conversations about your business more often. And it's called Wellness Real Estate. Not sure what that is or how it can help you as an agent? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. In fact, Wellness Real Estate is growing so rapidly that it is projected to be nearly $870 billion by 2027. I'm Sheila Alston, and I'm your host. I'm also the founder of Healthy Home Media, where I help agents all over the country leverage this new trend in the industry to spark new conversations that will get people to listen to you and notice your brand. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels without any leads or sales to show for it, then stay tuned. I guarantee this podcast is not like any you've heard before. Welcome to the Wellness Real Estate Podcast. Hey, Heather, I'm so excited to have you here on the podcast today.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so today I'm so excited because you do something that I haven't really heard of before, and it's you Reiki houses. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm excited to learn more. Tell me all about it. How did you get started with that, and what does that actually mean?
Oh, I always hesitate with that because it's such a long journey. So how did I get started? Found my way into Reiki, and I was a Reiki level 2 practitioner. Well, I was attuned to Reiki level 2, but wasn't using it and didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then my Reiki master teacher talked about energy clearings and house blessings. And it was like this big puzzle piece just kicked into place.
Yeah, because
And
you've been an agent for a long time.
yeah, I'd already been an agent for over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I had found my way to a very holistic lifestyle. So I was already looking for alternatives for all sort of healing and less chemicals and having a healthier environment. So then extending that to the energy around me was just a natural progression.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like when people are looking for a home, they may not say anything about energy, but they're subconsciously looking for that, right? They're like, I'll know it when I see it, or I'll know it when I feel the space in the room. It's because they're actually feeling the energy. Would you agree?
I do. And if you ask them if it was a thing about the energy, they would say no. But if you ask them, like I love asking people, have you ever walked into a space and you didn't want to be there? Or you walked into a space and you knew that the people weren't getting along, even though you didn't hear anything and they had smiles on their face, but you could just feel something. Then once they say yes, I'm like, that's the energy in the space.
Right. It's like when they say, you could cut the tension with a knife.
Yes.
Like you could tell that
Yes.
there's tension there. Wow. And you can also tell if a home has been loved and it's a happy place too.
100%.
So so give us like an example of what happens. You're with a client and you just are looking at a home, and is it something that they are interested in, but they just don't like how it feels? Or how do you bring up the energy clearing?
So with a buyer, if they say they feel something like in the basement or in an area, I'll let them know that I'll clear it for them before they move in. After we close and before they move in, I'll clear it so it's a clean slate for them. With sellers, I do it to make it a clean slate so that buyers don't feel any of that when they walk in.
And what have people said about this? Like, are they open to it, or do they really feel that it makes a difference?
So I find that the more open I am about it, the more receptive they are.
Okay.
When I hesitate and I'm not sure how they're going to react, I think they can feel my apprehension.
Yeah.
But if I act like this is completely normal and this is part of my process and it's going to help sell the house, they're all for it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, if you can, people
Right.
bury stuff in the, outside, and they'll
Yeah.
do all sorts of crazy things to get their house sold. So I would imagine an energy clearing just would be another added benefit, right?
Right.
So tell me more about, if someone is a seller and you're looking to clear the home, what is it that you actually have them do? Or do they have to do anything?
So in addition to my clearing, I'll go through and I will do an energy clearing. So I will just kind of scrub the energy, loosen up any muck, any stagnant energy. I'll loosen it and get rid of it. But then I also ask the sellers to go through a process to help them cut cords with the house,
Mm-hmm.
because beyond just the energy we feel, there's an energetic attachment
Mm-hmm.
between a house and the family that lives there. Um, so I have found a lot of times that when a house won't sell, there's this sentimental, um, this tie, the memories of the dogs and the kids and the whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so having sellers go through a practice where they honor the house and go through each room and think of their favorite memory in that room and actually write a letter to the house thanking it,
Mm-hmm.
and again acknowledging and honoring how well the house served them,
Mm-hmm.
and then letting the house know that it was okay to have a new family.
Yeah, that actually probably does a lot of good for the family, letting go of that too. Like, it takes them on an emotional, um, I guess, journey, right? To let go of the house, because maybe not everyone in the family actually wants it to sell, or, um,
And when we're in our head, very logical, I'm ready, I'm retired, I got this great job opportunity, whatever it is, we are expanding our family, we need a bigger house. There's all wonderful reasons to move, but there's still that connection and there's still that attachment. So we have to honor that, to cut that cord so that we can move on fresh.
Yeah. Well, and also they say, like, whatever you think about the house. I was listening to, I can't remember who it was, but I was listening to something once where they were saying kind of the energy that they were putting out about their house was that they didn't like it anymore. It was too small, all of these things. And it wasn't until someone brought them through the process of, what did you like about the house? Because the advertisement you're putting out into the universe is that it's too small and it's a terrible house. But at one point you did like the house, right? Oh,
Right.
yes. And so once the homeowner kind of thought about, at the time it was the perfect size just for our growing family. We loved it. We planted all these plants every single weekend. We'd go to Home
Yeah.
Depot, and they put those thoughts out there. The house sold the next week.
Yes. Absolutely. So that's the other piece of the energetic
Yeah.
attachment. When it is, when we're sentimental and we're reluctant to let it go, or when we're so done with the house, and whether it was a marriage that ended or they have problems with it or whatever it may be, that energy just hangs out in the house. So that's why I like the practice of having them go through the room and think of their favorite memory.
Mm.
So it just fills the house with that joy and that love.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so good. Do you find, I mean, have you talked about this with other realtors? What do other realtors think about it?
I have talked about it with some, and uh, I know one other that does energy clearings with her business.
Oh,
So
good.
I actually will do the energy clearing for other agents. They don't do it themselves. So they see the value, and
Yeah.
especially not so much in this recent market, but when we were experiencing long market times and all of the feedback on a property was, everything was positive, it just wasn't the one.
Mhm.
Like, that's when you know it's an energetic component.
Wow. That's amazing. You're also a holistic realtor.
I am.
So tell me a little bit about that. How is that different than just being a traditional real estate agent?
I like to think of it as, just keeping the big picture in mind,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be when we're negotiating. Like, don't get hung up on a couple $1,000s when you're making a $500,000 purchase. When it's buying, think of how do you want to use the space? I love asking my buyers tons and tons of questions. If you tell me you want a home office, I'm going to say, what does that mean to you? Can it be a bedroom upstairs? Do you want it on the main floor? Do you want a separate entrance for the public? Do you want it close to the family so you can still be involved? Or do you want it completely remote so they're not bothering you? Like, what does a home office mean to you? So I like to get buyers to really picture living in the house so
Yeah,
that we know that we're getting the best property for them.
right. Because just saying a home office can mean something different to so many different people, right?
Yes.
And guiding them through that thought process, probably if they haven't thought about it, will help them solidify what it is that they want. Makes it easier when they are home searching.
Yeah, and buyers, it's so easy to get caught up on a house that is really decorated well and looks really pretty, and like, oh, I can so see myself living here.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, wait, but let's just talk for a minute. You told me that you loved a garden and this doesn't have a yard, so is that still a priority? So
Mhm.
it's helping them again see the big picture. It's more than just this is a pretty house. It's how do you want to live in the space, and does this space match that?
I love that. So for me, when I hear holistic realtor, I immediately think of like functional medicine or holistic medicine, that is just becoming all the rage now too, because before it was just specialized, 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 but your body isn't made up of several components. I mean, we are holistic. So if you are helping one area of your life, it's probably going to help in lots of areas.
Yes.
So I think as far as real estate is concerned too, I mean, if you look at the practice like that, it just gives you new perspective on how you can help your clients, right? Because
Yeah,
it's
and
just about
buying or selling a home is one of the top three stressors.
yeah,
So my goal is to change that and have it not be one of the top three stressors. There's still speed bumps, there's still things that happen, but I want to be an advocate. I want to have open communication and help my clients keep their big goals in mind.
mhm,
Like, let's stay aligned in what's our vision, what's our goal here. Let's get to the finish line.
exactly. Wow, I love it so much. I think that it's going to be a new trend that many more agents are calling themselves holistic, just because if you want it to be, if you want to provide more value to your clients and not just be so concerned about the transaction, of course you're concerned about the transaction, but you want to do what's best for them and find them a place that's not only going to be something that checks all the boxes, but that is a healthier home for them to like and their family to thrive. And um, being a good listener, I think, is the way to be a great agent, whether you're a holistic agent or not. But I love that you're taking that perspective and that you have different ways to provide more value for your clients. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's being a good listener, and it's also asking what you might feel is a difficult question.
Hmm.
Like hitting pause when they're all excited to write an offer. Like, let's reflect. This is a big decision. Just
Right.
want to make sure that this is aligns with everything you want.
Yeah, and it takes a confident realtor who is putting your clients ahead of the sale to be able to do that, right? Because you could be working with them for a year and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, just buy something. But you don't want to be that way if you know in your heart that this isn't going to be the right one for them.
Oh, absolutely. I've had clients that apologize because we keep looking,
Mhm.
and I I do not want to sell them a house that they're not going to be happy with.
Right.
And
Right.
to me, if when I ask the questions, it helps narrow down what we're going to go look at.
Right.
And giving that feedback, like, we've already looked at this style and you didn't like it. Are you reconsidering it? Oh, I didn't realize it was the same style. So just helping, again, giving them feedback and, um, yeah, helping guide them.
Right. I love it. Well, so then tell us where you're located and how agents and how people can find you or buyers or sellers.
I am in the Chicago area. I always say that my I am just completely blanking out. My boundaries
Mhm.
are energetic and not geographic. I would rather drive an hour to work with a client that I absolutely love than drive 5 minutes to somebody that I just doesn't light me up. So I'm all over the Chicago suburbs. And the best way to find me is, I don't know, what do people usually say? I mean, I'm on Facebook, or I have a website, or what do we?
We'll put the links in there, wherever you want to.
HeatherSchmidt.info is my website.
Okay.
So
That's great.
HeatherSchmidt.info is my website that has all of my contact info.
Okay, and I love it. And if people join your email list, they'll get Healthy Home or Wellness Real Estate Magazine.
Yes, they will.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Heather, for being on the show. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something new that will inspire you to think about your branding and how you can market yourself a little differently. If you enjoyed this episode, then you're going to love what I have for you, because you don't need to wait to go get extra certifications or to grow and expand your network to get started attracting those new leads right now. You can simply begin by talking about wellness real estate trends and what you've learned on this podcast with others. I mean, this is pretty interesting stuff that no one has heard about, and I have all the tools that can make it even easier for you. Wellness Real Estate Magazine is a brand new wellness lifestyle magazine, and it's the only magazine that brings health and home together. We educate readers on industry trends and how to create a healthier home environment, written by industry experts around the country. And we have 3 covers to choose from: Wellness RE, Healthy Home, and Wellness at Home, so you can easily find one that aligns with your unique brand and messaging. These magazines are the perfect done-for-you tools that help you not only stay top of mind, but they educate and engage your audience, which positions you as an industry expert. Differentiate yourself and grow your brand the easy way. Learn more at healthyhomemedia.com.